I am weirdly obsessed with this rose gold packaging. Like I want this like all over my walls and everywhere. Could I do this as like a background? Like this would be really cool. Like just a holographic background. Is that too much? But seriously though, it's like so pretty and I haven't opened it. Very proud of myself. Haven't opened it since I got it like an hour ago. Hello everyone! I'm here today for another First Impression Friday and I am very excited because this literally just arrived at my door today. And it is the new Chrissy Teigen and Becca collaboration, their new palette that they came out with, and I am very excited to test this out. I have not opened it, I have not swatched it, and I really just want to put it all over my face because I'm kind of obsessed with Chrissy Teigen. No, just me. I obsessively follow her tweets and I can't stop. I just feel like she and I should be friends and like our baby should be friends and we should just, you know, like hang out together all the time. But I've heard a lot of really good things about this palette, so I wanted to test it out for myself because my skin tone is a little bit different than Chrissy's. It is more on the pale side of things, so I want to kind of see how that translates for my own skin tone. But I want to swatch this, I want to put this on my face, I want to see what this actually looks like and see if it's actually worth the hype. So let's just dive right into this. If you are interested in more First Impression Fridays, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And without further ado, let's get into this. First, we're gonna open up this beautiful packaging. Props to the pack. Oh, I don't know why I didn't know this, but also the packaging is also rose gold. Aww. Serious question though, I really want to know if you can put this on walls because that would be amazing. So inside we have the palette, we have a little booklet thing that, I don't even know what this is. What is this? Oh, it's instructions? Sweep powders across face. Apply anywhere you want color, depth, and dimension. Pretty self-explanatory and like in like 15 different languages. So there we go. That's what that is. There's also a little sample of the First Light priming filter, which I already have and already love. So you're welcome, Caroline. This is for you. Now onto the package itself with this little plastic thing. Get that out of the way. So inside we have two highlights. We have a blush and a bronzer. I think they're all have some form of shimmer. Obviously the highlights have some form of shimmer, but I think this may be matte. And it has a full mirror as well in here. Now I don't know why I didn't think of this, but actually these two are much smaller than I thought. They're slightly bigger than like a ColourPop eyeshadow, just to put it in kind of perspective. So it says on the website that this shade right here, the rose gold, is Chrissy's favorite highlight shade, which is why it's included. We have a nice medium tone bronzer here. This is a new limited edition blush. And then Beach Nectar is a new just released highlight shade. It retails for $54 Canadian. It is up right now on the Sephora website and back in stock, so if you're interested you can go and check it out, or at least it is on Thursday, which is the day that I'm filming this, and it's uploading tomorrow. So unless it sells out in 24 hours, you have pretty good luck it's still there. Alright, so now on to the swatches. So we'll start with rose gold. Nice and creamy. Ooh, I don't know how that's gonna work for me in terms of highlight. It feels a little bit on the darker end of things, so if you have a medium or darker skin tone, that will be beautiful, but the shade itself is gorgeous. Now on to Beach Nectar here. Also a very, very pretty shade. Again, I think this is far too dark for me for highlight. I mean, we're gonna test it out because I'm definitely putting this on my face. But it is much more on that beautiful pinky tone. I think this would look gorgeous layered over top of blush for that nice like luminous flush. I think that would look really, really pretty. And it's nice and pigmented too. So far these shades are both really beautiful. To be honest, I'd probably also use these as eyeshadows. I think that'd be really nice on the lid. Kind of a nice like summery look. Now onto that bronzer shade here. It feels like a nice medium tone. It might be a little bit dark for me if I have no self-tanner on, but I feel like for right now, I think that's gonna be a good shade match. It doesn't look too orange. It's not gonna be too muddy on my skin. Fingers crossed anyway. And then lastly, this nice blush tone here. Ooh, very pretty. I like that. Very pigmented, it swatches beautifully. It does have a little bit of that gold sheen kind of infused into it, but not in a glittery way, just in a very natural, sort of an understated way. It's very pretty. But yeah, these are all of the shades. I think they're all really beautiful. The only ones I'm not sure about are the highlight shades in terms of being highlighty on my skin. But yeah, let's put this to work. Let's put this on the face. First, what I need to do is I need to pull back my hair because this is getting obnoxious. All right, let's zoom in for this. Okay, so that didn't work out the way I expected. Somehow, and don't ask me how, because I don't know how this happened, but I managed to film the footage you just saw, not film the application, and then filmed like the end result. I don't know what happened. Apparently I was just talking to a camera that wasn't on. Glad I caught that while I was editing the footage. So I thought about how I wanted to like refilm because I want to show you guys what the application actually looks like in applying it to the skin. So what I did is I wiped it entirely off as much as I possibly could off of this side of my face, but it is still on this side of the face. So just in case that changes things at all, this was like a one-step sort of application. This has nothing on the face at all. So I wanted to kind of like reapply it to this side and talk through some of my thoughts. I'm like paranoid, I'm like checking for the little red light to make sure it's on. Are we filming or am I just talking to nothing again? So we'll start again with the bronzer. So the one thing I noticed with the bronzer is I'm using a big fluffy brush, and this little guy is pretty small. So I kind of had to like tap around the brush a couple of times to get enough product onto the brush. And also like I immediately, like I went in and I went pow into it, and like so much ended up on my brush, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like dusting it off. So very lightly tapping the brush into the product will do. I'm just going to apply it to the outside of my face. I found like it actually blended quite well into my skin. Overall, I found the color was a good match, at least with self-tanner on. It looks really good. I think that overall the effect is really pretty. It blends out really nicely, and it just gives a nice subtle warmth to the skin. I don't want anything too crazy, too contoury. This is just like a nice bronzy glow, you know? Next up is the blush, and the blush is a good size for this brush, but again, you just need like the tiniest little amount on your brush, and it shows up a lot on the skin. So you really have to be careful and not go too crazy, because otherwise you will look like a clown. But it really is such a flattering shade on the skin, and as long as you're blending it in really well, it's going to look really, really pretty. With self-tanner and in the summertime, this is going to be a beautiful shade, and for any of those that have darker skin tones, medium skin tones, things like that, I think this would be really pretty, but paler skin tones, I think it'll be a little bit trickier to wear. And then it's on to the highlighter. So we have two here to choose from. This one is lighter, but definitely more in the pinky tones, and then rose gold is definitely more of a rose gold, a deeper tone. It definitely won't work for me for highlight, so I decided to play around with this one a little bit. And the one thing I will say about this is it's not going to give you that like pow highlight to the skin. It is much more subtle than that, and it gives you more of like a lit from within kind of a look. This is something, again, I can't wear, I feel, if I don't have any self-tanner on, but for like a nice beachy bronze summery look, this is really nice, but it's more on the subtle side. Like with one go of the highlight, I didn't really see it on my skin. I had to build it up to like 2 or 3 layers. So if you like a really strong highlight, you're probably not gonna like this palette. But if you want something that, again, is sort of that luminous from within, just healthy looking skin, and you want something that's kind of gonna give you colors that all work together seamlessly, then it's a really pretty palette. And there we go. That is the overall look from this particular palette. You know what? I like it. I think this is a good palette that I would definitely use more often in like the summer months, when I'm going for that more like bronzy, luminous, glowy kind of a look. But I feel like for the rest of the year, this is probably something I'm not gonna reach for as often. I'm probably not gonna reach for this as often when I don't have any self-tanner on, because I feel like it's going to be a little bit trickier to wear. So if you have a paler skin tone, I recommend kind of swatching it in stores to make sure that the colors work for you. It's definitely not as highlighty as I was hoping for. I have to say, I was kind of hoping that the highlight would be a little bit more punched up than it is, but it's a very nice, natural looking highlight. So something more suited for like an everyday kind of look, and all the colors work really well together. I think the quality is there in terms of the products. If you've tried the Becca products before, you probably are gonna really like this palette because they're beautiful and they apply very nicely to the skin. They blend out beautifully as well. But yeah, just the highlights, the one thing I wish it was just a little bit lighter so that it could really just radiate from the skin. But yeah, other than that, it's a nice palette. And that is everything for this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like these first impression Friday kind of videos. If you want to see more, let me know in the comment section below if you have any requests for future ones. I hope you guys are having an amazing, amazing week so far, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Love you girls. Mwah.